Okay, my name is Sarah Skimmyhorn. I've been a crime analyst here at the Meridian Police Department for about 2 years, but I've actually worked at the Meridian Police Department for 8 years. I work in the Crime Analysis Unit, which is part of the Analytical Services Division. And today I'm going to talk to you about crime analysis, try to offer you some examples and some information about what we do, and try to shed some light on what a crime analyst really is. So a lot of times when I tell people I'm a crime analyst, I get a lot of the reactions that you see here. Most often it's like, what? Like on TV? And they think that I'm doing the things that you see in shows like CSI or Bones. It's really not like that. If you hear my parents talk about me at my job, you would literally leave with the impression that I single-handedly apprehended El Chapo or something. The easy button, this cracks me up. We'll talk more about the easy button later, but there's no such thing as an easy button. But the further up the chain of command you go, the more prevalent the idea is that there is one. Unless you've been an analyst before, you really don't know that it's pretty involved. It's pretty hard work. The reality of what I do is shown here. I think, I type, I think and I type, I think and I type all day long. Really, our jobs can be better equated to that of a miner. The database is our mountain, the structured query language is our pick, and the informative product is the golden nugget that we're seeking. So I could give you a wordy textbook definition of what crime analysis is as a career and as a theory, but I'm just going to go ahead and summarize it with the definition that I've come up with over the last year of doing the job. Really, a crime analyst wants to take the data that we collect and use it to support police operations and the overall department mission. We can do that by identifying problems and hotspots, and by providing documentation that supports resource allocation and supplementing or complementing case data for investigations or prosecution. The way we do that is with charts, maps, graphs, link analysis documents, a whole plethora of things that we can provide to make jobs easier. There are three main types of crime analysis. The first is tactical analysis, which is the analysis of police data directed toward short-term development of patrol and investigative priorities. When you're looking at tactical analysis, it's really important that you're familiar with what's going on in your department and in surrounding departments. You can get there by being aware of what's coming in police reports, who's being interviewed out in the field, and what's going on at other agencies. You're looking for patterns and trends and sprees so that you can quickly identify developing issues and get that information out to the units that can have some effect on stopping the issue. That could be patrol or detectives or even our crime prevention office. An example that I have here is a product that I put out to patrol first. I noticed that there was seemingly a lot of construction trailer thefts, and so I started looking into it from the current year to the previous year, and the number had actually gone up in drastic amounts. And so I did some further analysis and I mapped where all of the incidents had happened. I put it together a chart so that it would show where they were happening, how they were being stolen, the dates and times so that we could try to identify patterns again. And I put this out to patrol and detectives unit, and patrol was able to use some of the suggestions that our unit gave them and locate a couple of stolen trailers, and detectives was then able to start formulating a plan to tackle the problem that they were now aware of. Strategic analysis is another kind of crime analyst theory, and it's the development and evaluation of strategies and prevention techniques for a long-term trend or hotspot. One of the important things to be aware of with strategic analysis is it doesn't just revolve around crimes or criminals. A lot of times the problem is affected by what's going on around it. So you want to look at things like geographic factors, regional, demographic, economic things that could be influencing the problem that you're seeing. You're trying to get a big picture about the area or the people surrounding the problem that you're facing. So here's a product that shows an example of that. And the top map that you see is called a choropleth, and it's actually one of my favorite kind of products. What we do here is we map all of the reports that we've taken in the city, and they're put on the map, and then the choropleth calculation occurs, and it groups things into hotspots by color that show you where the densest frequency of reports are. So then we can drill into the locations where it's obvious that there's a significant amount of reports being taken. Here, after we did some further analysis, we found that a lot of the offenders were juveniles, and there were 2 schools located in the hottest spot. So we were able to forward that information on to school resource officers so that they could go ahead and start focusing on the problem, what they could do to deter further activity. Administrative analysis is the third and highest level of analysis. A lot of that revolves around workforce, workload, and work product analysis. So we've been pretty busy upstairs doing a lot of that right now because it's budget time. So we can help departments support their claims that they need more resources or more people by actually drawing up a visual representation of statistics that show that they face heavy workload. Another thing that an administrative analyst does is replies to requests from like news agencies for statistics, and maybe a graduate student might contact us for statistics to support their thesis papers, things like that. And then the third part of an administrative analysis would be supplying the statistical information used for grant funding. So we can get grants based on statistics, and then we also have to keep reporting throughout the life of the grant to make sure that we're meeting the measurements necessary to show that we're having a success. The more grants we get, the less we have to spend on taxpayer dollars to operate at a higher functioning level or to implement more programs. Grants are a good thing. So there's really a lot to be said for the satisfaction that comes from working in a crime analysis unit at this department. I feel like it's a contribution to the overall success of the department, but also to the officers out in the field. It's helping them to make their jobs easier and safer. And I really like being able to do a lot of analytical thinking, but it's creative in the end because I have to make sure that my product is pretty and as well as informative. City of Meridian is constantly winning awards for being a great place to live, and really support staff from all parts of the department don't get the appreciation that they deserve for their part in creating that place. And as Meridian continues to grow, there will naturally be a strain put on public safety resources, and so it's paramount to have a well-trained and dedicated crime analysis staff who's focused on identifying problems before they're out of control, and who's committed to assisting the department in allocating their resources in the most efficient and effective way possible. Thank you.